Foster, Foster is making the decanter.
All right, welcome back. Let's see if we get some people to show up. See if anybody's going to join us. There we go.
Yay! Thank you.
There's some folks coming back.
All right, thank you,
Joanna.
Thank you, Joanna. Thank you for coming back.
Joanna, you have to let us know if it's a little bit better now.
Hi, Jennifer. Thank you, and Antoinette, David, Steve, Kristen. Thank you all for joining us again. Michelle, we're glad to have you all back again. Let us know if the feed is a little bit better. We've made a little bit of an adjustment to how things are going. So, hello Bridget, I'm gonna take a minute here again to congratulate Mary Grace Hogue. She is the winner of this signature shot glass that was the giveaway from last week. And this week's giveaway is this fantastic flask, this blue and green flask. So likes and shares is how you get to be entered for that, for the winning of that. This is some of the stuff that the guys made last week. Stuff for Father's Day, golf ball, beer, paperweights, stemless wine glasses, all kinds of good stuff in here. Confetti beer glasses, more of those, and even some Christmas ornaments back there. We have t-shirts. This one was designed by Todd's daughter. And then we have the regular Art of Fire t-shirt.
I'm surprised nobody's picked up one of these guys. I thought it was pretty brilliant. Actually, Susan's the one that came up with these. With the little hammers. You can even see the breaking the glass, little crackle pattern. I thought that was pretty brilliant.
Thank you. Somebody observed that the red looks like blood, which, you know, if you do home improvements, right. Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of blood involved.
The little.
And Josh designed that one with the golf ball sticking out of the side. So earlier we made a custom wine glass for a customer in Germany, smoky white, and now we are going to make the decanter. This is our schedule for today. The wine glass that we've already made. Thank you, Cheryl. Comes out of my own home improvement efforts. So now we're going to make the decanter, I think. I'll check with Foster. Yeah, the golf ball does kind of look like a nose. And then Josh will make a custom color mix vase, and then we'll make a fan vase. Oh no, sorry about that, Steve. Bye. Yes. We do an Antoinette. We need a glass blowing tool cup. I agree. I don't know if I can find any tiny jacks to put on the side though. I'll work on that. It took me a while to find the hammers. All right. So what's up next, guys?
Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll figure it out.
So we were just talking about, we're going to be doing a decanter, but we're actually going to be doing a decanter that when it sits, it's going to sit at an angle and can spin around if you tip it. So we're not going to flatten the bottom like we traditionally would. We're actually going to flatten it at a slight angle, a very steep angle, and it comes to a point, so when it sits, it'll sit at an angle and be able to roll around. So we were just talking about how to go about it. You know, a couple ways you could go about it. You could just paddle it. Foster was saying he's actually going to get it hot, hold it up on itself, get it to squat up, and then flatten it at an angle. So that's what we were just talking about.
Okay. Yeah, Jim, that's kind of how I know a project is a success, is if I bleed or wind up with bruises or something like that. But yeah, this decanter, yes, a Weeble decanter, that's absolutely right. So Josh, does this decanter, so guys, does this decanter match the wine glasses?
Yep, it's going to be just like the wine glasses.
All right. So it'll be that same clear with the smoky white and a little bit of gold leaf. And as Ted said, it's a Weeble. Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. How many of you guys remember that from your childhood? All right. So a number more gathers this time, of course. Since it's
Yeah, 2 gathers, but it's on a larger diameter head iron or pipe.
So one of the ways that Foster can quickly get the glass to fall off of that pipe is to push it down away from him like he did just now, like that. And get it to move away from the pipe so that he doesn't have all of the glass that he's working with on the pipe and none of it where he needs it to be, which is off the pipe, of course. Yeah, it's going to be a cool decanter, Bridget. I can't wait to see it. It's fun to see stuff that's just a little bit out of the ordinary, something a little bit unexpected. Good morning, Joy. We're happy to have you with us. So you guys let me know how the feed is and if it's getting a little better. I know we lost a couple of people who said that it wasn't any better and that they were going to join us next week, but I'd love to hear how it is for the rest of you. All right, so Josh is over here two-handing things. He's got his bowl of powder in one hand and his iron in the other, and he's just doing quick rolls through that white powder and going straight into the glory hole to heat it up. How many times are you going through that this time, Josh?
5 times.
5 times to get a nice thick color of white. I'm going to get out of the way because I'm standing right in the middle of everything. So what they're going to do first is... Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that, Ted. It's a little bit better. Thank you, Joanna. I'm glad to hear it's good. So what they're going to do is, Foster is... Oh, thank you, Joy. We're glad you made starfish. Foster is making the base of the decanter right now. And Josh is heating up that little bit of white that he has on his bit iron. And then when he gets it hot enough, he will bring it over and Foster will trail it onto his piece kind of randomly. So it has this kind of smoky effect on the outside. You'll be able to see kind of, he just holds onto it with his back, his shears, kind of backs it back and forth in kind of a weird random pattern. Well, I'm glad to hear it's not quite so bad, Bridget. Thank you. almost ready with that white. All right, so just touch it up once and then drag, and the easiest way to do a trail is you try not to be specific.
Okay with that?
Once you cut that off, maybe let's put just a little bit more on the bottom.
Alrighty. So Foster is happy with that so far, but he's going to do a little bit more. There's much more glass on Josh's iron, so they're going to add a little bit more just to increase the amount of white on that, especially toward the bottom. So, one more time. There we go. All right. Yes, it's definitely swirly, David. Yeah, Grace, I love the random pattern too, not only because it's easier for me and I wouldn't have to make it precise, which is really not very easy for me. But hi, Cindy. I am Susan. Bruce is taking a well-deserved break from us today, so I foolishly volunteered to be in his stead and doing an adequate job of filling in for him, but I'm sure we'll all be glad when he's back. Thank you for joining us. So Josh is back at the vacuum box with the gold leaf, and Foster is going to pick up those gold leaf pieces on the outside. You can kind of see how thin that stuff is, just super thin. And now he's going to put out another sheet, so he's got more. It's just really tough to work with. But the vacuum box pulls it down so that even if there's a breeze in the studio, it doesn't fly away before you can get to it. So that's all of the decoration that thank you, Cindy. That's all the that's all the decoration that we're going to do on the outside of this. And it'll be cool because you'll sort of be able to feel the white and maybe even some of the gold. You're not going to gather over that, are you, Foster?
Okay.
That's what I thought. So any little ridges of the white that remain, you'll be able to feel when you pick up the decanter, if there are any. So now it's back to the block to do some more shaping, cooling it down so that he has the right amount of heat in the right spots of the glass. Give it a little bit of a blow. Yeah, it is fun to watch the creativity that goes into the pieces. Like I said, this came about because the customer had a photograph of something that they wanted, and Foster worked with them to translate that photograph of a different piece into something that they could make here at the Art of Fire. So using the Marver, you can cool down the tip so that when he's blowing out, the bubble doesn't go too far down to the bottom, because especially with a piece like this, you want enough glass at the bottom that it doesn't get too thin. Hi, Patricia. Thanks for joining us. We are making a decanter that is clear glass with an application on the outside of a white random trail that looks like smoke and random pieces of gold leaf. And it will be what David called a weeble. It will rock and roll. And it matches the wine glass that we already made this morning during the live stream, as well as the other matching wine glass that we made during today's YouTube presentation that was earlier in the day. Ted asks, are you going to use the encamo technique to form the edge it rolls on? No. Foster is going to flatten the bottom and then apply the paddle on an angle. And calmo is when you make two pieces. Make one bowl and then another bowl and merge them together into one piece. Maybe I think they did an encalmo piece. Bruce and Foster did an encalmo piece a couple of weeks ago where you have one side is maybe blue and the other side is purple or whatever. But no, this will all be one piece. Foster continues to work that, making sure that he doesn't get it too thin on the bottom, since it needs to have that rolling shape. It does look awesome already. Thank you, Joanna. Ah, Joanna has the encalmo vase. I thought you guys had made one.
Oh yeah, that's right. Foster and Bruce made it.
Yes, I knew they.
Yeah, the encalmo base.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I always have to remember when I'm making glass is to turn it in both directions, not just in one direction. Especially if you're working with a piece that has color on it. If you turn it in only one direction, it twists at the top. Right, thank you, Antoinette. Antoinette said the encalmo technique is used to form two pieces together that are both on blowpipes, or punch it up and you join them at the edges, not how you finish the bottom.
Yeah, Josh, maybe you could just figure over the mouthpiece.
Punchy, not punch. All right, so Josh is blowing on the blow hose while Foster, whoops. Josh was blowing on the blow hose while Foster All right, so they're getting there. It's almost to the point where you've got that bottom the way he wants it to be. I'm going to come over onto the other side so that when they do their blowing, you can see what they're doing from this side. There's not much you can see at this point other than Foster. You can see how hot that glory hole is. Alright, so we are nearly there. That's what the bottom looks like at this point. And Josh is blowing out and Foster is papering so that they can get exactly the angle that they want that will give it that nice rock. And that's it.
That's it.
That looks perfect. Foster marks exactly where he wants the puntee to go. Thanks. Now comes the transfer. Woohoo!
You know what, Josh? We'll come up to, let's come up to your glory hole. Just so that.
Okay.
All right. Foster wants to go up to Josh's bench to finish it because Josh's glory hole is larger. So we are going to move down the studio to where Josh works. Over here. Puntee it up. Yeah, I think I was yammering on Antoinette when he pulled the neck. I apologize for that. Foster is not happy with the puntee, so he's going to take it off and do it again. I'm glad to hear the stream is better. Now you get a different view of the studio. This is the view from Josh's end of the world. So Josh is going to use a hand torch to kind of heat up a little bit where that puntee was and also to heat up the neck. There we go. Touch up the puntee there.
Pretty good.
A little bit of water on that neckline. Just a quick tap and off it comes. Yeah, and as you can see, Josh's glory hole is quite a bit larger, so Foster has more room to work. Foster, like I said earlier, Foster is the stemware expert here, so his glory hole is smaller because it's really all he needs most of the time. Yes, it was a fat transfer. Thank you, Joanna. Oh no,
That's it.
not quite a fat transfer. It fell off in the glory hole. And
Okay.
now it's a floor model. So,
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. It's a floor model.
so there we go. That's what it looks like,
So
though.
when
It's
you
really
do the
pretty.
rocker,
It's a beautiful rocking canister, but unfortunately it fell off. So it is now a floor model, and we will try again. One of the first things you learn when you're a glass blower is to let go of your perfectionism. That was a hard lesson for me, but, you know, it is sad, but stuff happens. It looks really pretty, though. Kind of see the gold. The nice thing about it falling off is that Josh and Foster can analyze it and decide what they want to do differently the next time. So they're not happy with exactly the way it wobbles. So they're going to increase the angle on the bottom the next time they make. Yeah, Bridget, there are a lot of things that are said in the studio that make us giggle because we all have 13-year-old boy senses of humor.
Let me help
It's kind of simple. But, it's what it is. It wasn't that the bottom wasn't hot enough. It was, I think that the party didn't set up properly, and it just popped right off. It fell off into the glory hole. So when it fell off into the glory hole, Buster just grabbed it and put it back out so that it fell in the glory hole. It doesn't even wobble nicely, but Foster and Josh are saying that the next time they want it to weeble wobble even more. They want it to spin, not wobble. Alright, so let's walk back over here. See while they're getting ready to set up. We'll look back over here at some of this stuff again. I will do my Bruce best to show you some of the stuff that we've made in the past couple of weeks. The stemless wine glasses, other decanters in the rainbow of colors, paperweights, some scotch glasses for Dad, and myriad different versions. Yes, it's a prototype, David. Thank you. This is the signature style shot glass that was our giveaway from last week. It goes to Mary Grace Hogue. Congratulations, Mary Grace. And our giveaway for this week is this flask, which is this beautiful blue and green. Really pretty colors. So do your likes and shares to get yourself entered to win that. It's really pretty. We do gift certificates, so if you can't decide what you want to get your dad for Father's Day, we can do that. We also do lots of other beer mugs, flasks in myriad colors, all kinds of good stuff. Oh, thank you for joining us, Mary Grace. That's great. Yeah, the Wi-Fi, the Wi-Fi is really dicey. It kind of changes depending on where we are in the studio. So, Josh, what are you making, Josh?
So I'm going to be doing a base. This is another custom order. And she requested kind of pinks, purplish reds, kind of mixed up and swirled up in a design. So now I have the different colors.
And are those just a bunch of solid colors that you put on the
Solid
end?
colors. It's actually a combination of transparent and opaques. So it's a transparent kind of gold ruby color, a transparent violet, an opaque violet, and an opaque raspberry color.
And you're gonna, what, heat those up and twist them?
Yep, I'll heat them up and twist them, and then I'll do a technique where I kind of fold them over on each other and kind of mix them around. And hopefully the transparent colors will kind of overlap over top of the opaque colors and get a nice design.
And you're doing that on an iron, not on a blow hose.
Yeah, just at least to start it out. Yeah. So twist them up a little.
So right now these are just on a solid iron. They're not on a blow pipe. just to
Gotta get it mixed
get
up.
everything all twisted up like that. Cool. What shape of vase are you going to make?
It's gonna be a teardrop with a foot. And I'm not sure if you get any. If you might be hitting some of the fan fuses from the. Sometimes that kind of messes up the sound.
Got it. Josh is making, sorry if I'm getting the sound of the fan in here. Josh is making a teardrop shaped custom vase. Right now he's mixing up a bunch of different colors, transparent and opaque, pinks and orange, pinks and purples, right? Pinks and purples.
Pinks, purples, kind of reddish pink. Good question. There we go.
And now that he's got those all mixed up, Foster has transferred them onto a blowing iron, onto a blowpipe that Josh can use to start the inside of the vase.
Oh, that depends.
Yes, looks like taffy pulling.
So we got a little air bubble. Get that guy out of the wall.
Another one at the end.
Another air bubble.
Pull out the air bubbles, because we don't like bubbles. You know, some people don't like bubbles. I like bubbles because all my stuff has bubbles in it on purpose.
That's right.
But we only like them if we're doing them on purpose. We do not like them if we're not doing them on purpose.
Well, the tricky part, if I had a kind of an air bubble in the color, it would make actually like a clear spot where you would actually see through the color. Which sometimes is good, but for this one, no.
It does look like a blow pop, kind of, yes. So now that Josh has all of those colors mixed up as much as he wants them to, he can marver it back down or use a block to smooth it back down.
Well, I actually probably do a bit more mixing.
Oh, a little bit more mixing. I jumped the gun on that. Thanks for joining us, Antoinette. I hate to say what that looks like. Kind of looks like a coronavirus. We don't want any of those around here, though. Thank you very much. Not even in representation.
So the nice thing about using transparent colors and opaque colors, they'll kind of give you layering. Kind of where the transparent colors over the opaque, they'll kind of mix and you'll get different colors. So it'd be nice kind of a layering effect.
So now that Josh has everything all twisted around, you can block that up. You can see all of the colors twisted together in there. See, I'm not the only one who thought it looked like a coronavirus. Joanna, Kristen, they're all agreeing with me. All right, so now that Josh has all of those colors twisted together, he can treat that as if it were his first gather. So it's quite a bit of glass, quite a bit of color there. And now that he has an initial set up there, he can do his first gather over that, give it a block, and put a bubble into it. No, the colors are all colors are the base. So some of them are transparent, some of them are opaque, but they are the beginning. So there was no clear to start with. He picked up a bunch of chunks of color, some opaque, some transparent, and twisted them together on an iron, and then took them and replaced them on a blowing iron.
Yeah, so it puts a thin layer of that color just on the inside of the base. It has clear gloss over top of it. So we say, if you think about it, if you would slice this and look at it like the rings of a tree, you would see that layer of color on the inside with clear glass around it. Start to see kind of the pattern coming out. The more it gets blown out, the colors will kind of thin out, and you really see the mixture of the pattern.
It's easy for me to get close to this, to the pieces, because this is not my phone. I do not, however, want to overheat it, so I'll try to be careful. So another gather on top of this. How big is this vase going to be, Josh?
Maybe like 11 inches.
So a fairly good sized piece.
Yeah.
This is technically his second gather. Maybe cut off a little bit of extra, since that's more glass than he wanted, but again, using those cherry wood blocks that stay in the water all the time to cool and stabilize the bubble. And before he blows it out, he's going to now give it some more heat so that the heat is consistent throughout the whole bubble, throughout the whole Parazon, not just in a couple of spots. Quick block, and then he'll give it another blow. Yeah, Kristen, I'm not sure that they've done a piece where they've taken the colors and mixed them together like that at the start. I don't know if they've done anything like that in one of the live streams so far, so this is a first. Like I said, someday I'm going to do this over the head thing, but not anytime soon, especially with a piece of this size. Even my years as a baton twirler didn't prepare me for something like that. Now you can tell Josh's skill because he can handle something that long and wobbling around without any trouble at all. It takes a lot of skill to be able to do that without kind of losing what's going on, losing your balance and letting it get away from you. the next step, Josh has it about where he wants it to be in the shape. So the next step is the foot. Foster's going to do a couple of
I'm sorry, no, we'll do a quote
gathers
now.
for clear
Okay.
to get the foot while Josh finishes up the shaping of how he wants it to be. Yes, this will be lovely to see after it comes out of the annealer gym. Theta will post a photograph of it tomorrow on their Facebook page. So you'll be able to see it then. So, once again, Josh standing with the piece on his foot, straight up and down. Foster has the glass and presents it. And Josh cuts it off where he wants it to be, and we're all set with the foot. After he gives that a quick flash, he comes back to the bench and flattens it out, straightens it up if he needs to, make sure that it's exactly where he wants it in the middle. And he's using the footboard just like Foster did to give it that nice thin shape. That's what it looks like from the side. So glass blower's eye view. And Josh is ready for his transfer. He's fast. You can kind of see a little bit more of the twist of the color now on that piece. Josh gives it a little bit of a dimple so that we know he knows exactly where he wants that punty to go. And with the dimple, when the punty comes off, if there's a little bit of it left, the piece will still stand straight.
Okay.
Josh puts it where he wants it to be, and then he uses his tweezers to kind of move it up or down if he feels it isn't precisely where he wants it to be. A bit of a twist there, making sure that it's on exactly as he wants it to be. And then he just gives it a little bit of a chill at the neck, taps, and it comes right off. Whee! Trying to stay far enough from the fans that you guys can hear me. If you can't, let me know. Yes, very pretty, Bridget. So one of the things that Josh can do is if he's felt that it came off center just a little bit, he can hold up the edge of the piece to kind of let the bottom fall, which is what he just did. He was holding up the neck where it had come off of the pipe and let the empty part fall just ever so slightly to once again line it up. Yeah, you can start to see the colors. It's really pretty to be able to start to see them coming out. It's even better when it's cool, but even now it's looking really awesome. So because they let it get so cool to get off of the punty, or to get off of the blowing iron, you need to heat it up for quite a while to get it hot enough that you can then how it looks.
Very nice.
Very, very nice, yes. Like I said, Josh is the expert. Beautiful. Yeah, this is a really awesome vase. I can see why somebody wanted to have it. Quick knockoff into Foster's left hands. Okay, maybe not so quick, but there we go. And into the annealer. Another custom order done. Yes, it is gorgeous. All right. Thumbs up for Josh.
There you go.
Yay!
Hey, thank you, Josh.
Nice work.
Alright, so what we got next? We got fan
All right, next is a fan vase. Who's making that?
making a fan box.
Foster.
Another order. So we do take custom orders. This was actually for a gallery. I'm sure where the gallery is, Foster. Above the city, okay. But it's fan vases. So I think he has a couple now. Let's see if we can find some.
Josh is going to go find us a fan vase so that we all know what we're talking about. But all right, there we go. That is the fan vase that he's talking about.
So same idea as we did for the decanter. It's going to have a trail, except it's going to be a clear trail. What's neat about the clear trail is first he's going to pick up a gold frit. Then he's going to put on a clear trail, and the clear trail is actually going to push away the gold frit so you can actually see the color underneath of it. So whenever we add glass on top of another glass, if there's color on the surface, it actually will push that color out of the way. So it's a neat little technique. And that's what he's going to be doing. I think he's going to be doing one over, what, red, Foster?
No, actually it's black.
Black.
Ooh, black. We don't work in black very often. That'll be awesome.
So yeah, here's another little example of that type of pattern. And this is actually the black. Then he picks up an iris gold. That's the clear trail. Uh-oh, we're gonna lose Susan. So the interesting thing about the black color is there's actually not a true black. In glass at least. How they actually make the black is it's either usually a purple and it's just such a dense purple it looks black, or they use a brown and such a dense brown it looks black. But in glass you can never get a true black. Foster's just checking that out. I don't know, Foster.
Yeah, the
Looks pretty good.
The gold leaf here, and of course the white, wispy white trail with the gold leaf. I think it looks pretty good all in all, Josh.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bridget, you're getting the whole game today on people narrating.
There you go. All right.
Whoa, there you go. So there you go. That's just an example of what happens when the glass isn't annealed. It actually will break apart at any second. You can actually see it that exact second. It came apart for us on there.
That's great stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
Couldn't have planned that any better.
All right, I'm back. Just needed a drink of water because I'm not used to talking this much all at once. Yes, definitely. They need to be careful that they don't cut themselves on that unannealed glass when it pops open like that. So here we are back
Foster, do you want to switch over to my glory hole, or you think you're switching right
back
here?
at this table.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, I'm glad he didn't get cut too. It's cool to see that what happens with the glass, but funny that it's so unpredictable I read a book once that the author had somebody set a piece of glass out and it broke at precisely the right time to kill somebody or hurt somebody. I don't remember what exactly, and I thought, I don't think it works that way. So that was long before I started doing my own glass blowing, but I was right. It doesn't work that way. You can't really predict when it's going to break, but it was an interesting plot twist. All right, so don't forget Father's Day. Plenty of stuff here for your dad. Gift certificates, beer mugs, golf ball glasses, and again, congratulations to Mary Grace Hogue for winning last week's giveaway, this beautiful shot glass. And this week's giveaway is this awesome flask, which I keep holding up to the light because I'm enamored of the colors. I think it's really, really pretty. So, likes and shares get you entered for that. It's really awesome. So, please like and share, and you will be entered into the drawing for that.
Yeah.
And
so, if you folks ever think, oh no, glass blowing's too hard, I can never try it. Yesterday, my daughter came in with me. She's 6 years old. And I helped her actually make a mug yesterday. And she did everything but gather from the furnace, but otherwise, and reheat. Otherwise, she did everything. She twisted the color. She used a metal tool to rake the surface. You guys all remember how to do that. She used the jacks, opened the mouth. I cut the handle on, but then she used the tool and shaped up the handle. So, there you go.
Man.
If you ever think, no, if a 6-year-old can do it, so can you folks.
She's putting the rest of us to shame.
That's right.
That's a really beautiful mug.
There you go. Come and make your own mug.
Absolutely. Yeah. We even had her sign her own liability release form.
Good. She really did, yeah.
Actually, her dad did that.
I'm glad. She did have a great teacher, but yeah, she did an amazing job. Good for her. That's amazing.
I would talk about nothing else except
Yeah, she definitely inherited her fair share of talent from her dad. All right, so we start this piece that Foster's going to do by picking up a chunk of color that he's had heating up in the annealer. So that gets up to 900 degrees, which is enough to be able to put it into the glory hole and have it not blow into a million pieces. It gives it enough heat that you can then put it into that hotter furnace and melt it down.
Last day of school. Yeah. Well, the last day of having kids is today for my wife. And tomorrow's her last day. She just gets to clean out her room and gets to summer.
Wow.
She's excited.
I bet. 2 teachers in the family, actually. Josh and his wife, both great teachers. So heating up that chunk of black.
But it looks orange.
Yeah, well, everything looks orange when it comes right out of the heat.
Cool it, shape it, put a skin onto it, plug cap the bubble. Okay.
Cindy Panulo Martin suggests you go celebrate a Jimmy Cone.
A Jimmy Cone?
Yeah.
That sounds pretty darn good.
Great. We'll let this settle down and get the first gather of glass.
Not so orange anymore. Catherine Thomas's sister is a teacher too. She still has a week left.
She has a week left. Yeah. Wow, weeks. They're ending pretty late then.
Yeah. I have a great deal of respect for teachers.
Especially in this.
It's a tough job. Yeah, that's a tough job on any day, but especially during the pandemic, they were definitely unsung heroes. Catherine says North Dakota gets lots of snow days.
Oh, there you go. Okay, that makes sense.
It does, yes. Catherine, I don't know if you're from North Dakota, but if you are, you'll understand this. I grew up in Pittsburgh, and until I moved away from home, I had never lived anywhere where they closed school because it might snow. It was such a mystery to me. We still got the bus when there were 3 or 4 inches of snow on the ground. Oh gosh, Mary Grace says her kids are still in until the 24th in New York.
Where is she?
In New York.
Yeah, they don't start until Labor Day, if I'm not mistaken.
Catherine lives in Iowa now. I bet they have the same kinds of snow days in Iowa that they do in South Dakota, though. Sorry, North Dakota. David says he lives in Maine and doesn't remember them ever closing for snow.
It's like almost like the same block.
Got it. So I'm told I was in a dead spot. Let me know if this is any better for you guys. So Foster is getting another gather for his fan base. Oh,
Now it's terrible again.
terrible again. I'm going on the other side. Hang on. Woo. All right. Better? All right. Another gather for this fan base for Foster. And now he's doing the gather of that gold that Josh mentioned.
Yeah, and it's reducing gold. So
What does that mean, Josh?
So it has a lot of metals or silvers in it. So what Foster's going to do at the very end is expose it to a lot of fuel. And that fuel reduces the surface, which brings out those metals to the surface and gives it that metallic look.
Bring us to our finger.
Sure, you got it. This is the clear glass we talked about. It's just clear. It looks orange.
Whee! Even more fun trail. And that's just clear on the outside of that gold. And when Foster puts that into the glory hole, the clear will push that gold away from the surface of the black. Jim, we hope to see you on the 4th. Or on your grandson's 4th birthday, on your trip. Definitely stop by. So it's kind of hard to see the gold now because of the color of the heated glass, but once it gets a little bit cooler, you'll be able to see where that clear has pushed away the color. Sort of see it now. Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yeah, you can. You can. I hope you guys can see how the.
If you could see, they could see.
I could see it. Yeah, it is a cool technique. Something just a little bit different to make it look very custom. Yes, I think this is another one. Definitely, Theta will post on the Facebook page tomorrow, Catherine. It's going to be very cool to see it. You know that, I don't know.
What's that?
Well, I was going to say Bruce would definitely be coming up with some song reference today. I was going to say Back in Black, but I'm not sure that that would have been a song that Bruce would have come up with.
I hear Bruce saying that, sure.
You guys know that Bruce's ulterior motive in taking off today was to make you appreciate him more by having me do this, right? All right. Calipers so that we know exactly whether it's the right size or not. Painted black, yes.
Thank you, David.
Take care, Ted. Thanks for joining us. All right, so Josh is going to keep it hot while Foster gets the glass for a foot. David said, Bruce, ulterior motives? No. He's sitting in his house watching this live stream and laughing. Ha ha ha. I told you guys you needed me. Taking notes, yeah. I doubt it. I take notes when Bruce talks, David. sure somewhere in my archives I have hot glass moves, cold glass don't written down a number of times, along with all the other Bruceisms. The color of the base is black, Cindy. And then Foster did a gold, oh, I'm sorry, the color of the foot is clear, yes. I thought you meant the base of the vase. So yes, the foot is clear. And it's a black vase with a gold frit on top of it that we did a random pattern of clear on top of, and the clear pushes the gold away. You can see that effect of the clear pushing away the color right there. All right, ready for a transfer.
Then we can probably finish off with the stainless, with a long stem block.
Do you need a piece of film again?
Yeah, oversized.
It does look
piece of
cool as it
cobalt.
is, Catherine, but it'd be hard to carry it around on the pipe.
Who wants a vase with a four-foot pipe attached? That's another Bruce's. So this is going to be a fan vase when it's finished.
That's true. Catherine said you could take off the pipe and leave the rest. Very true. Or you could leave on the pipe and make it a garden stake. All right. So now that the mouth is nice and hot, Foster can open that up. Maybe cut off a little bit. Yes, there he goes. Just to even up the lip and make it a little bit more thin. You don't need any more yard ornaments, Catherine? Probably I don't either. But, you know, what's need got to do with it? So right now it's a very slender, tall vase, but Foster has some work to do, and once he opens it up, he can fan it out, and it will be done. So a little bit more work on it.
This one's for all the fans out there.
Oh,
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 man.
yeah. You are rivaling Bruce for your bad puns. The fans. You can see as you turn the glass, centrifugal force will open up a little bit just in the glory hole. David Hogan gave you 3 forehead slaps for that one.
As well I deserve them.
You do. but you got plenty of yucks and laughs to go along with it. So Foster is using the steam stick to blow out the top of that vase. The steam in there will expand and blow the glass outward. Jim Yurden says it's just pandemonium in the studio today. That's for sure, Jim.
There you go.
All right. Almost ready. So, fanning. That is how Foster fans himself.
Try to do
Right.
this again.
Okay. Fantastic.
There you go. Thank you, David.
David, you're becoming very predictable. And now, all right, it wasn't worth talking during that, but using that torch to add the fuel.
It does the reduction atmosphere. I'm going to do one quick.
Does the reduction on that gold that we were talking about earlier, and you get that lovely gold that we were hoping for. It is beautiful. Right. And we're done. Awesome. Yay, Foster. Into the inhaler it goes, all the way down the other end. Yeah, it's fun to see the difference that using this fluffy torch can make. Everything looks just normal, and then you throw the flame on from this torch, and all of a sudden it's really, really special. So it's kind of neat the way different effects can be achieved with just something so simple. So next, we are going to do, yeah, I can't wait to see it tomorrow too. So next, Foster, we're working Foster out today. He is, he's carrying a heavy load of the live stream. Next Foster is going to do Jack in the Pulpit wine glasses. I don't think
Long stem. No, so it's
Jack in the Pulpit long stems. Ah. Do we have any examples of that?
I think we do have one around here, but he pretty much set it up like one of long stems, except for the top will have the Jack in the Pulpit shape. Here we go.
Ah, there we go. All right. So it looks like that. So it's got the long stem, like a wine glass, but then it has the Jack in the Pulpit top. And that's what it looks like from the side. Really pretty.
And people always ask, why is it called a Jack in the Pulpit? We always get that question.
Why is it called a Jack in the Pulpit, Josh?
Because there's actually a flower. If you look up Jack in the Pulpit flower, there's a flower that actually has this type of top. So we make glass that kind of looks similar to that type of flower.
Very pretty. And there's that again.
Could be yours.
Yeah. It's a vase, Catherine. I'm not sure you can really drink out of it.
I could use a straw.
If you use a straw, yes. And you need a very classy straw.
That's right.
Here's this again. This is our giveaway for this week. This flask. This is the giveaway from last week. Signature style shot glass, which was won by Mary Grace Hogue. Yep, Jennifer, you can win the flask on the table. You just need to like and share today, and you're entered to win it. I will hold it up again because that's how it's truly appreciated, is if you can see the colors.
Reminder, she's in that dead spot.
Beautiful blue and green. Foster just reminded me that I'm in a dead spot, so I'm going to walk all the way over here to the window and show it to you next to the window. Isn't that gorgeous? All right, so that is what we have for the winner of this week's giveaway. Foster is getting started with his. Thank you, Jennifer, for always sharing and liking. Yeah, Jennifer.
Oh, hi, Jen.
Yeah, Bridget said the Jack in the Pulpit looks like a mermaid glass.
Mermaid glass.
Yeah.
There you go.
What color are these is this gonna be, Foster?
This one is cobalt blue.
Okay. So a deep sea mermaid.
There you go. Exactly.
Jennifer says hi back. So Foster started with just a little chip of color, a little piece of solid color that he had already heated up in the annealer, and just melted down a little bit, and it's right on the end of the pipe there, and he just blows a little bit of a bubble into it, and that will be the basis for this, and it will be on the inside of the piece. And that's the optic mold that he's going to use, so he's getting all of his tools ready all at once. So if nothing else, you guys are getting a different view of things this week than you would with Bruce, just because I'm a lot shorter than he is. Catherine asks, is the Cobalt going to have silver on it?
No.
No.
Although there are cobalt colors that are impregnated with silver nitrate. But this is just a straight cobalt blue.
And yes, Bridget, the color, the size of the color affects the saturation. And that's something you sort of learn by doing. How big a piece you need for a piece of finished glass this size. You would need a piece of color, a chunk of color, about the size of a small marble, I would say. Maybe a little smaller than that. Patricia says someday she needs a flask for coffee. All right, so into the optic mold to get those lines. Woo! Sorry about that. Rookie camera work. We'll try and show you the lines when he gets back. There, you'll be able to see them here. Yeah, so now you can see the lines. The ridges, yes. And that's another thing that you learn. Yes, it does come with experience, Kristen. How much color you need. So for this piece, Foster is using the clear at the base of this. Foster, are you using that to pull out part of the stem? So swinging out the part with the blue and then stretching out that little bead.
Oh, are you here for Avalier?
All right, so he's just stretching out that part and that becomes the stem.
And it's the 7901.
All right. Do you want me to flash that?
Josh, can you help me here?
There, I can do it.
Yeah. Let's find out.
Any idea, John?
All right. All right.
It's a courier picking it up.
Oh yeah, that's the Avalier piece, which is up on the wood table.
Oh,
So Josh is going to heat that piece up.
Yeah, it's that Avalier box up on the wooden table.
Of course, during the live stream, it doesn't mean that we aren't still having customers. So Josh and Foster are trying to figure out what a customer needs while they're doing the live stream, which is always fun. Yeah, I like how the color pulls into the stem too, Bridget. That's really cool. So, all right.
That's it.
All right. Yeah, it is tricky, Joanna. It's Yeah, I agree, Catherine. It looks really cool in the sunlight. But yes, Joanna, it's really tricky, and this is where Foster's expertise comes into play, is that he knows just how much glass he needs to do in a gather to get the bowl of the piece and the stem. Too much, and you've got a really thick bowl or a really long stem, and too little, and you've got no stem. So it takes a lot of practice and a lot of expertise. And when you don't like it, you knock it off and do it again. Foster did not like that foot, so he's going to try it again. So we have this foot. We'll just pick that up and we can put that back into the we can recycle that back into the furnace since it's all clear. Yes, bad foot. We want not good for stamping. All right, let's try this again. Josh stands on his little red mark. Defeat for the foot. Can we guess who said that? Thank you, David. Yes, Bridget, 1 foot on the floor. Happy Father's Day to you, Jennifer. Thank you for joining us. All right. All right, Foster, are you going to let this foot stand? Mm-hmm. Are you going to let this foot stand?
Yeah. We'll withstand this one.
Yes. Yes. Bridget says let it stand on its own 1 foot. Alrighty. The transfer. See, everybody has a way of making sure that that's exactly where it wants to be. Normally Foster would open this as a regular wine glass, but as the Jack in the Pulpit, there are more steps involved, but he goes about it, starts the same way he would as a wine glass. Cutting off that lip just to thin it out a little bit. Foster has special jacks that he uses for his stemware that are a little bit thinner and rounder than the jacks that we use for bigger pieces. And And this is one of the most delicate parts of the operation, where he has to keep it hot enough on the foot and the stem that they don't get cold and break, but not too hot that they bend and get out of whack. But he also has to heat up the lip enough that it will move and do what he wants it to do, that he's able to manipulate that in the right way. So it's a delicate balance to get that all exactly the way he wants it to be. Our favorite steam stick to blow things out, expand the piece a little bit. Sometimes it gets a little too hot. So for this one, he has to put just a little bit.
Still just a little bit.
Yes, we are still going, just a little bit more. We're almost done with this, I promise, Renee. Foster has to put just a little bit of a ridge in there. A little bit of a neckline where he wants that top of the flower to be. A little bit more of a neckline, because this is the flower piece, not a wine glass. And then he pushes that flat, one side up, one side down. And making sure it's rounded. One last little tweak to make it exactly the way he wants it to be. All right. Now just pulling up that one little spot. Once more with a little more heat, and then we will be done. Ah, beautiful. Very nice, Foster. That's exactly it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you for putting up with me, for being able to listen to me when you were looking forward to hearing Bruce, and for joining us every week for our wonderful live streams. We appreciate you every single week. Thank you so much, and have a great week.